Paul Hawksby, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. These are interesting times for Villa. They've been struggling to score goals and get points. There's been a change at the top with the sporting director Monchi leaving, Roberto Alave coming in. So what about the timing of a new book by the award-winning author Guillem Balague, Spanish football expert, inside Unai Emery's Aston Villa revolution, Rise of the Villans? Guillem joins us. Hi, Guillem. Good to see you.
Hello, Paul. Hello, Andy.
Hi, Guillem. It's a weighty tome.
It is a weighty tome.
Big font.
Yes, that's what you're saying. Like the sort of like Nan's print. Yeah.
But it really is two books in one. The first one I call The Lion, which is the story of Unai Emery, and the second one, The Pride, which is, could be the pride of the club or the pride of the people involved in the club, or a bunch of lions. And that's the story, a picture of Aston Villa right now.
Yeah. So it's been a weird start to the season. I mean, you spent a lot of time around the club writing this book. Have you been surprised by the way things have started this season?
I think everybody has, because obviously you come on the back of a year in which Champions League victory to Bayern Munich, to PSG. But at the same time, I think everybody warned, including Damien, Unai himself, but perhaps we didn't want to listen, that it was going to be a hard summer. And I think it's going to be a difficult season in the sense that everybody's got to reduce their expectations. We all know the limitations, financial limitations. Sure. What I find fascinating is, given what you've got, Unai, and the people around you, what is it you're going to do about it? And that's where it all starts moving and changing, and there's a new head of president of football operations and all that. And that has to do with, because of these limitations, is there anything else we can do, or can we do it in a different way? Roberto Alave, there's plenty in the book about him, because he's more of a, how can I put it? Don't want to say philosopher, because then they'll put a tag from him that people will hate. But he's somebody that's got the medium and long-term vision.
So does he work in a different way to Monchi?
Yeah, he does. He can still get you the players, but with Unai and him, it will be long conversations. You want to be at the first half an hour and then let them to it, because they will talk about, in depth, about where they are, where they need to go, profile of players. And I think you're going to have a contrast, an interesting one, between the now that Unai will demand and the yes, but where are we going that you'll get from Roberto Alave.
What was his relationship with Monchi like then?
Had it kind of, were there issues, you think, that's got us to this point? I
think, again, answers, you'll find them in the book, because Unai Emery and Monchi work together, and they're very intense, and they love each other, and they hate, and they shout, until they don't work with each other.
Okay.
And it gets to a point where it's like, right, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
And it happened at Sevilla. I know Unai tried, after Sevilla, Unai tried to get him at different clubs. It hadn't happened. It happened here. And I'm telling you, having been for a year there, quite close to everything that was going on, 2 years at Aston Villa is like 5 years at any other club. Yeah. So it seems to me it's the end of a cycle. And after 2 very difficult summers and 3 windows, especially the last 3, where honestly, and again, I go into detail on the personal side of things, people don't sleep. Damien, Monchi, Unai, they just don't sleep. They don't eat. They struggle with life and mixing with normal people and their families while they're trying to squeeze every single drop they can of the finances of Aston Villa.
ASRs are terrible.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's like having your hands tied behind you.
Well, look, they had to spend...
It's just not a level playing field.
No, it is an unfair system. But, the bottom line is that there is a system in place, and they
voted for it.
They spent big on wages to bring players in to get them up to the level that saw them play Champions League.
While disrupting a little bit, because they're saying, okay, we're doing that, but we'd like to do something else, because we do have the money, the means, the quality of people to actually do something else. So they're trying to, like other clubs, trying to change the rules a little bit so it's a fairer situation.
We thought we go, I mean, as you said, half the book really is the kind of story of Emery, and part of that story is time at Arsenal. So what's different now at Villa? I mean, they've had this difficult start, but there's enough credit, I would say, in the bank for most Villa fans to give him a chance.
He wasn't following Arsene Wenger for a start.
No, that's true. But that didn't help. But was it more than that, Guillem?
Yeah, it was. And Aston Villa have to thank Arsenal and his time at Arsenal for what has happened, because he learned there that he needed to be protected, surrounded by people that understood the game the same way as him. He wanted to work with those people. It's an exchange of energy, of ideas, and a structure that worked. And I think he feels that some of the people that were at Arsenal weren't helping him either to succeed. So that includes Ozil, and that includes perhaps some other directors. So when you've got all that around you, it just doesn't work when some results don't go your way, because he was sacked soon after being in the Europa League final. So, this is not just something to throw away. It's a big competition. But then the situation became so toxic that the only solution was really to leave. Some players stopped playing for him. As I said, some directors were happy to just...
He was sort of ridiculed. We talked about this off air. The whole thing about good evening and all this. People taking the mickey out. We probably did it too. But it wasn't right. And
it was xenophobic. It was xenophobic.
Yeah,
it was xenophobic, and he heard his how he was being perceived in England. And then he got to a point where he turned it around and decided to do the copyright of Good Evening.
I think that's great.
That range of T-shirts, that's great.
But didn't do it at the end.
Yeah.
But at least he owned that word.
Yeah. Now, there's a structure in place, which he didn't have at Arsenal, he does have at Villa, which means a very big backroom team all working to make it happen for him. So is there a danger? I mean, I suppose it kind of future-proofs you to an extent, because if you want to get rid of the manager, you've got to get rid of the whole structure, because everything's built around working with him. So you're kind of all in when you're in that situation, as Villa are, aren't you?
The thing is, as well as you're right, he's the leader of the project, and he's the one who's chosen Roberto Olave, who he's very close to. But at the same time, they're trying to systemize the processes. So they've got 3 individual coaches. They've got nutrition. They've got this and that. So he goes, okay, maybe those people go with him, but you know that you're going to replace them with the best that you can find in that structure. So there is a structure in place. You will require, if you went, somebody with a lot of energy, because they put so many hours into it. And then how that new manager, what methodology he uses will be completely up to him. There is a system. In the case of Unai, is analysis, and he prepares this 50-minute video, which takes him 8 to 12 hours, and he does it himself, and he does 3 a week. And the talk to the players is those 50 minutes of the video plus another 50 minutes of talking around the video, an hour and a half chats 3 times a week. So what happens, of course, is the people around him know how he works, and they will support that. And the players that are there, 50% have gone. Why? Because there is a filter. They cannot go through all these analysis. But the ones that are there, they're very much up for it. That's how Morgan Rogers became good, through so much analysis.
Yeah, he's having a funny season, but I'm sure he'll turn it around, because he was great for England. The last day defeat at United was a really strange result, because Chelsea, we were battling with them for that Champions League spot. You just felt that we'd go to Forest and lose, and Villa would go to United and win, and it turned out to be the other way around, which is football. But it was a strange performance, wasn't it?
Yes.
I know they were unlucky with the goal that was disallowed that should never have been. But
important, very important. Changes a whole game.
Sure.
But at the same time, there were moments there that I hadn't seen in the whole year, and the many years I've seen Unai, when he starts looking at the distance, and his head basically kind of exploded. And I'm not going to spoil the end of the book, but something happened in the changing room that day.
Oh, that's good.
That I think it paints a picture of the moment for certain.
Okay.
Now, you also talk in the book about the profile of the sort of managers from the part of the world, the Basque region where he comes from, and Arteta, Alonso, Iraola, Lopetegui.
So good.
Lots and lots of a bit like the Shankly, Ferguson, Steen, Busby, all coming within a couple of miles of each other. What is it about that region that shapes football managers, good football managers?
I spoke to all of them. I spoke to people that have taught them, and nobody has got an answer. Nobody knows.
Something in the water.
It's like, no, we're different. No, everybody. But then you start looking inside their behavior, how when they go to clubs, how they act, what they learn, and they are multi-sporting. So they do different sports. They respect the eldest a lot in that part of the world. They respect authority. So they they always know that they part a cog in a machine. So they're just part of a machine. So they don't go in with big egos, but they know that they have to make the system function. There's a lot of respect for the people that work very hard, and they all work very hard, and all of them see football as a means to be happy, say, not just success, to be happy. Because it's important for them, family, community, groups of friends. All that I've just said very, very quickly, but I've got like half a chapter dedicated to it, because it's not normal, is it?
No.
That in the smallest province in Spain, you've got so much quality. And it must be something, and it's not the water.
You think
The food's great.
we have a theory on this show on Unai Emery, and why it's not going quite so well is that he's putting less product in his hair. On a Friday when he does his press conference, he's not put any gel on. He has quite bouffant hair, and he looks younger with it like that.
His mum,
he needs the full Dracula.
No, his mum doesn't like it. His mum keeps saying, "Why are you wearing that? You look like a right-wing politician." Right-wing politicians look like that in Spain.
Right, okay.
So he's like, "Oh, maybe I do." And then
so that's why he's losing. Well, I think he may have to go back to the old product. More product in the hair means more points. You know him very well. You spent a lot of time with him writing this book and have been around the club. And you must be seeing a rising tension. That he's a bit of an outburst the other day talking about a lazy performance. He's clearly frustrated by what he's seeing. But do you doubt at all that he's the right man to get them out of this situation?
Because I've seen and analysed how he's come out of other crises, if you want to call it, or situations like this. I know he'll get it right. But what I find fascinating is the process of getting it right. What is he going to do? Because the things that he's been doing haven't fully worked. Reasons are multiple, and we touched on them. So what you do, you keep going and work harder, work longer hours. I mean, they already work like 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
So if it's not that, what is it that he's got to do to mold the reality to his will? Because he's managed to do that at Villa. As soon as he arrived, he goes like, well, that direction, and everybody went there. There was a point where the fans didn't get all this building from the back, especially losing against Arsenal and Leicester. And he went to the players in the changing room and says, you know what, I'm going to die with my boots on. Either we do it this way or I'm off. He did it this way. He succeeded. And now he finds himself at a time where, okay, I'm pushing that way, not fully working. What way should I do next? And I find that in football these days, fans especially, they want to know the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's the now. It's like, would we be seventh, at the end of the season? Would he be there?
Football is changing though, isn't it?
And it's evolving and it's constant. And
always,
I think the question people should ask is, what is he going to do now? And those that trust him wait for that moment where things turn around positively. And I'm waiting to see that. Winning against Bologna will be great. The Europa League, it will be exciting to be in Europe.
He's done really well in Europe.
Well, it could. I mean, we were talking to Darren Moore, who was having a bad time at Port Vale in the league. But it's been the League Cup that's kind of kicked them on, rather than it being a distraction. And, because of his record in Europa League, you wouldn't be at all surprised that that's a catalyst for a bit of a revival in the league.
Yeah, there was that semi-finals in the conference against Olympiacos, Conference League, where he prioritised the league because he saw the team really, really tired. That is an exception to the rule in his career. You're absolutely right. It's been 16 years going to Europe, every single year. And that will be the target this year, either by winning the Europa League or through the domestic league. But in any case, gives him something extra, and it gives everybody something extra. The Villa Park in European nights, now I know, having been there in every single one last year, is in a special place.
Yeah. Just very quick one on an interview done for 442 with the Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele. It's been quite a story, hasn't it? From the big money move to Barca, then lots of questions about his attitude and his diet and lots of injuries. Then going to PSG and working with Luis Enrique and just kind of turning his career and his life around. It's a great story.
I asked him after winning the Ballon d'Or how important it is to find your place in the world. A place that respects you, that know what you are, that lets you deal with the difficult times in a way in which it's not like the end of the world. And he said exactly that. He's now at PSG at a place where they understood it. They waited for him to correct certain ways, had done that already previously. But in any case, at PSG, it was like, okay, we want you to be, especially last year, the leader. Mbappe's not going. And then it's like, you just go for it when you got the ball, try to finish actions. And then the other thing they did to him, too easy, yeah. Every time they could, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or. So he had it in his mind that he could, that they believed in him, that they had the confidence in him. And the consequence of it, you can absolutely see now.
Although he won't give up burgers or pizza.
Nope.
He told you, didn't he?
Good man.
Not before the game, obviously, but after the game.
Half time.
We've all been recommended to not do so many pizzas, not so much pasta at night. But, you know, we have to. We have to sometimes.
Cool.
Again, we wish you well with the book.
Thank you. Let me plug one thing.
Yeah.
15th of October, Wheaton Arms is the presentation of the book. I've got guests like Ian Taylor, Andy Townsend, James Chester, Petrov.
Oh, great.
And some of the people at the club, like the head of comms, head of cuisine, head of player liaison, because I want to give people the opportunity to understand how the club works behind the scenes. 15th of October.
And people can buy a book and you'll sign it for them, I tell you.
And then we'll sign books and whatever else they want us to
Lovely. Excellent.
Do you think Lincoln have got a head of cuisine?
Yes. Andy's turned on Lincoln because they gave Chelsea a rough ride last night. Guillem, lovely to see you as always. Guillem's book is called Rise of the Villains, Inside Unai Emery's Aston Villa Revolution. It's published by Ryan Books and is out now in hardback. Good to see you.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.